Hi, my name is Sheila Hill. I'm an intuitive life coach and an Ascension guide. And I want to talk about all things food today. This is sort of a culminated, packaged video from some comments in my recent TikTok. So somebody asked me the question, do your taste buds change? Is that all a part? Or foods taste differently? Is that a part of the Ascension? Some other people were asking about being more attracted to sugary foods, and what's that all about? And just downright not knowing how to feed yourself. And it's all a part of it. I've been going through it for a number of years now, and I wanted to bring you some clarity on what's actually happening. So foods will taste different, and it can be from day to day, because you are learning how to come into deeper resonance with what the body is asking for. So instead of feeding yourself from the mind, like Tuesday's taco night, so that's what we're doing, or I make these 5 different meals for my family and that's just what we eat because it applies to the mind, to the family dynamic, to our budget, all of that starts to unravel and dissolve as you are being asked more and more to come into relationship with your body and what your body is asking for on any given day. Because we are being inundated with lots and lots of energy codes, what your body needs or wants on any given day changes often. So feeding yourself seems like a simple task as a human. We've been doing it for years. It's not always that simple. So yes, your tastes change based on you're no longer feeding yourself from the mind, but more from the body. Tastes of foods change because as your consciousness or frequency inside your body, and dare say in your mouth, starts to increase in frequency, you start to taste the depths of more energetics that are in the foods and drink that you take in. So each food that you eat is the ingredient list of a number of different energetic frequencies pulled together into one template, and we'll call that a hamburger or a piece of gum or a candy. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything is energy. What you begin to taste is preservatives, food coloring, toxins, the energies around the consciousness in which the food was created, the company that created it, the person that created it. You start to taste the full energetic profile of how that food came to be. You taste that. So that's a big part of it as well. You may one day have something that tastes really great, and the next day you taste it and you're like, this tastes chemically, it tastes metallic, it tastes like maybe it's gone off. And you check the packaging and the best before date and you're like, yeah, I ate this yesterday and it was delicious. Today, not so much. And that's why it's that you are beginning to taste sort of the depths of the energy that have gone into the creation of that food. And that's all a part of this. It could be transient. It could be that you thoroughly enjoy something one day, the next day you can't eat it because it tastes funny, and then a week from now you can go back to it and it's fine. That's possible also, but that's what's happening there. The next topic that I wanted to talk about, still around food, is sort of sugar, judgment around sugar, why we go to sugary foods, what's going on there. So we have to sort of remember that we are leaving the egoic experience of self. The ego is a child and is childish, not the same thing as the inner child that is the sacred God self. 2 different aspects. It is the ego that is childish. So if you feel called to eat candy or cake or sugary things, that's not, oh, well, I'm just doing this because my inner child is calling for it and my inner child really likes candy and sugary things. That's not it at all. Because again, the inner child is different than the childish ego. It is the body that is ascending. The body is stepping into higher frequencies, but it's also maturing. The body and the ego relationship is maturing out of being childish into higher states of consciousness and spiritual maturity. So looking for yummy foods, sugar, candy, donuts, cakes, whatever it is, doesn't matter, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you just do it more consciously. So the unawake, unaware, unconscious human may seek to reward itself, seek to fill holes within itself, lack of love, lack of self-love, lack of respect, feeling dishonored, could be anything, with sugary treats. That's unconscious. When you move into the ascension path, you are stepping into consciousness, awareness, and maturity. So if you choose to self-love yourself with a piece of cake or a donut or a piece of candy, because that is just an act of self-love for yourself, you're treating yourself that day in an act of self-honoring, there's actually nothing wrong with that. There is a very hijacked spiritual teaching that says that you must eat clean, drink clean, be a vegan in order to ascend, and that's not the truth. No one is looking for you to be perfect. We're looking for you to be conscious and mature. So I have a very vital and happy sweet tooth, and I dare say I probably have something sweet every single day, but I do it consciously, and I transmute any of the energy around the stories or paradigms around what it is to eat sugar. The judgment of it is worse than the doing it. So we have to be aware of that. We also have to be aware of why we're being called to eat sugary treats. And I dare say, in the human 3D experience, there's a lot of games around food and sugar and weight and things like that. So bringing your conscious awareness to why am I doing this? And am I okay with it? Is really, really important. The other piece is that sometimes the body is going to ask for sugar. Or if you're a vegetarian, there may be some days where your body really asks for meat. And the reason for this is that this is a very body-intensive, resource-intensive process. It is the body that is ascending. And in that, it's going to ask for various forms of resources at various times of the day in any given now. It could ask for sugar because sugar is something that can be translated into energy really quickly. Again, we have to take the judgment and the stories out of it completely and just really get into a good relationship with our body where we really understand what it is that it is asking for on any given day. And is it coming from the ego/childlike self, childish self, or is it coming from our own innate wisdom? So there's a lot to unpack around food in the ascension process because we are moving into a more breatharian state in our light body, but we're far from being there now. Our taste for food, our resonance around what our body enjoys and can use as resources is going to change often. And we're going to have to look at all of our ideations and teachings and things that we took on around whether sugar is good or not good, or weight is good or not good, or certain foods, and release ourselves from all of the judgment and the spiritual dogma that we may have taken on our journey thus far. So there's a lot around food, and I hope that this helps you unpack, become more conscious and aware, and better understand how it is that you're resourcing your body on any given day. Until next time.